Coming up next on the Filthy Rich Cleaners podcast.
I had a family member, they had been interviewing and never even had the nerves to be like, hey, this isn't working out for me. And I was like, man, you're a peach. That's awesome.
From your first dollar to your first million, welcome to the Filthy Rich Cleaners podcast, presented by ZenMade. Join your host, Stephanie Pipkin, founder of Serene Clean, as she shares proven tips, tricks, and hard-earned lessons. Whether you're just starting out or ready to scale, get ready to discover how to build your own cleaning empire. Let's roll up our sleeves and dive in.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Filthy Rich Cleaners podcast. I am your host, Stephanie from Serene Clean, and today's fabulous guest, Amanda Stovall, is from Stovall's Cleaning Services, and Amanda joins us. Where are you, Amanda? I already forgot. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm in Southwest Missouri. The closest bigger city that people will know is Joplin, Missouri.
Got it. Okay, so nice middle South. I never know how to categorize Missouri. Do you guys consider yourself the South?
Midwest.
It doesn't
make sense to me.
I know. Well, it's just like Wisconsin is Midwest. It's like west of what?
Yeah, literally, yeah. I'm it feels pretty south here, actually.
Yes. Yeah, I would say Missouri is very southern acting, I would imagine. But Anywho, so Amanda, you reached out to me via Facebook, and you have been listening to the podcast, and we kind of started going back and forth and really connecting. And I'm like, we need to have you on the podcast because you're very smart, you're very driven, and you take action. And that is something I really, really love in a fellow cleaning business owner, is somebody who takes action, because I gave you a little advice, you did the thing worked, and I'm like, oh, I like you. You listen.
I have been told so many times throughout my entrepreneur journey that I'm so coachable, I'm the ideal student, because if somebody, the way I see it is, if somebody is above where I am, or I can reach their level, I want everything. I'm like, yes, teach me. I want to go apply it immediately. Let's do this.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And I feel that that is one of the biggest traits of folks who are going to be successful is, do you take action, or do you just kind of, I call it procrastination, basically, when you just continually consume content and, I just need to learn more. I need to learn more. I'm not ready to take action. And a lot of people listening might actually be in that same boat. Some folks out right now. But, point being is there's only so much you can consume to try to make it perfect before you need to try something, right? And then you adjust, all of that stuff. So I was really excited to hear kind of your experience, and then also your backstory. Quick note, your wife is also named Amanda, right? Am I crazy?
Yes.
That's amazing. Please tell me, how do you guys differentiate? Do you go by nicknames or?
Well, so a lot of people ask us this. It's so common. And we've been together. We just had our 10-year marriage anniversary. We've been together for almost 12 years. So we don't really call each other by Amanda.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
It's more babe, or, so when other people, I don't even recognize my name as Amanda. Sometimes I'm like, wait, what? Me? Sorry, I didn't realize you were talking to me. So it's definitely not confusing for us, but for other people, they're like, I don't know which Amanda I'm talking to on social media, and I don't know which one I'm texting, and I don't know which one I'm supposed to meet for dinner. So I always just tell people, I'm Amanda Lynn. If you guys go look me up on Facebook, add the one that's Amanda Lynn, because my wife is so introverted. She is not going to accept your friend request. She probably is never going to answer her phone. That's just not her vibe. But yeah,
we have the same middle name.
That would have been wild, right?
Well, totally. Yeah. Side note, it's looking at your Facebook, and I'm like, what? And I was like, this is amazing. Amanda, yes.
Yep. So the two of us are actually nicknamed the Amandas. So anytime family or friends are talking about us, they're like, we're going to the Amandas, or the Amandas and I are going to hang out. I'm like, oh, I love this.
So cute. Oh my gosh. And as you were telling me, she decorated and did that library behind you, which is beautiful.
Yes.
Both very talented.
She beats herself up. She is very much a perfectionist. And so she'll come in here and point out tiny little things that I can't even see sitting in here. And I'm like, nobody sees it. Stop.
Does she want to clean? Because that's a good sign of a good cleaner.
Listen. Okay. So when I haven't been an entrepreneur the whole time we've been together. This is year 6 for me. So I have like a different background. And
What were you doing? Sorry to.
That's okay. So, well, I did a lot. So I grew up working in the restaurants side of things. And then I got fired from my like big money job. That was like the most money I'd ever made as a server for refusing to wear makeup.
What?
Yes.
What? Where's the feminism police? What the fuck?
Oh, let me tell you, like, that actually, like, sparked everything. So I worked for this company for, like, 5-ish years. And a couple of years in, I started dealing with a lot of inner healing from trauma and childhood. And one of the things I decided to let go of was my outer appearance. You know, I was very much like, please don't take a picture of me. My face isn't done. And so I just stopped wearing makeup to try to support my authenticity. So I had been not wearing makeup at this job for probably around 2 years. And they decided to make some changes to their policies, which included makeup was a requirement for females. Of course, males weren't required to do shit.
Were you guys hired as entertainers? Because that is the only way I've ever heard that legally can happen. Like in Las Vegas.
Right. Yeah. No. It was just a fine dining restaurant. So, and
that's
they
disgusting.
didn't just say,
like, I'm so disgusted right now. Like to say that to a woman and
yeah.
My mind.
So, like, at that time in my life, I was still a full-time college student pursuing my criminal justice degree. I had a kid when I was 19, so I was a mom, a wife, and I'm going through all this inner healing. And then they slapped this on me, and I'm like, I've worked for you. Like, I've been so loyal. Loyalty is huge to me, and I've been so loyal. I go above and beyond. Like, my work ethic is phenomenal. I have nothing on my employee record, like, as far as, like point systems for getting in trouble or anything. And so I fought it with HR and the GM, and I was like, this is so
legal to me. Like, as a business owner, this is like wild.
I know. Yeah. It's so crazy. So, anyways, I fought it for a few months and continued to work there. And then they handed out the policy and required that we sign the new policy. And I hadn't signed it yet. So when I signed up for my next shift, they said, well, you haven't signed it. I have to send you home. And I was like, okay, like, I get it. It's not your fault. So I went home. And then the next day, like 30 minutes before my shift, my manager texted me and was like, can you meet me in HR? And I was like, yeah, sure the fuck can. So I got fired. And then they tried to deny my unemployment.
Would you, I just can't imagine that conversation. Like, please explain to me, where should the makeup be applied? What is it that I'm like, I would be psychotic.
So that was part of the like fighting process. The fighting process for me was about 3 months. So I'm in school full time, mom, wife, working evenings and weekends as a server, and also fighting their entire like HR team, trying to figure out like there has to be a way that we can, what's the word? Like find a common ground here. Like, so their policy listed, mascara, eyeliner, eyeshadow, blush, and lipstick. So even when I did do makeup, I didn't wear all of that.
This is insane.
It was insane. And so if you can imagine, I ended up getting fired for refusing. And they said, is it against your religion? And I said, well, I'm not a religious individual. I'm a spiritualist. And they were like, well, that's the only way we can work around this. So since you've already told us it's not about your religion, then we're going to have to go ahead and terminate you. So
sort of like room for an employment lawyer or something. I know it's a lot. Like, I just can't fathom how this is not discriminatory behavior. You know what I mean? Like, presentable is one thing. Requiring specific type of makeup, I've never heard of this in the 1930s. What is this?
I know, right? So that's what I actually brought up to them. And I told them, like, if I show up and my tie is wrinkled or my vest is wrinkled or, I have wine stain on my uniform, something's dirty, I don't have good hygiene, like, I can understand bringing that up, but the fact that you guys are terminating me because I'm refusing to wear makeup is completely absurd. So anyways, the company is a federally recognized tribe. So because it's a tribal, it's federal and no lawyers around here are going to touch it.
I see.
So they tried to decline or deny my unemployment. So I went through the fighting process of that and was like, absolutely not. Like, you guys already terminated me when I thought.
You're giving me employment, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, go ahead and give me that. So anyways, finally was able to collect unemployment, sat on my couch crying, huge depression because like I was being my authentic self and I got everything taken away from me, is how I seen it. In reality, that's not what happened. Like, I still had a safe home to live in. My wife worked, so we were okay. We were surviving. But it was a huge turning point for me in my journey. So at that time, I'm in college for a criminal justice degree, and I'm dead set on being in law enforcement. And that fall, I started listening to Jen Sincero, You're a Badass book. And it changed my fucking life. Like, I cannot express how much that book changed my life.
Quick break. If you run a cleaning business, this is for you. The Maid Summit 2025 is the go-to virtual event to elevate your systems, grow your team, and finally get out of the day-to-day. 20 plus speakers, real results, and absolutely zero cost to you. Register today at maidsummit.com. Remember, it's free. Okay, now back to the video.
It just allowed me to see things through a different lens. And I can't really pinpoint exactly what part of the book happened, but something just clicked and I was like, no fucking way. Like, I can actually do whatever I want. Like, I don't actually have to stay at home sad and depressed. Like, I can go make money without being forced to wear makeup. Mm-hmm. So I started digging into the law enforcement side of things, I got a job at a police department actually as a dispatcher, so that I could finish my degree. And then they were going to put me through the police academy. That environment did not vibe with me the way I thought it was going to vibe with me in today's world. So I started feeling very unaligned. And that sucked. It was really hard to get over that because for so many years I was like, I'm going to be a detective. I'm going to help women in unfortunate situations due to my past. And it sucked to get out there and realize that that's not actually for me in this life. So that was hard hurdle to get over. And to get over that, I started just kind of cleaning some houses on the side because it brought me joy. It relieved stress, and it just started feeling more and more aligned. So then a coworker at the police department was talking about her husband. He's an entrepreneur, and she was talking about pros and cons. And I was like, no way. Like, wait, what? I'm going to come over here and figure out what I can do to be an entrepreneur, right? And she goes, have you ever considered starting a cleaning business? And I was like, what the fuck? No. Like, what do you mean? And she was like, you were literally stressed out about a call and you started cleaning the dispatch area. Like, it's instinct to you. You don't even realize you're doing it, and you start cleaning and organized to make the space around you feel more calm. You're so intuitive about the energy. And I was like, holy shit. Mm-hmm. I think you're onto something. And so then I started reflecting back through my years, and every time I've had an extremely traumatic event in my life, I counteracted that, or not really counteracted, but like helped myself through that by doing something for somebody else. And I was like, oh shit, I think you're onto something. So then that led to spring of 2020, right as COVID's hitting. I put in a vacation request for that August. So it's like 4 or 5 months in advance. And command staff says, yeah, we don't have enough staff to approve this. So my vacation got denied. And I was like, actually, fuck this. I'm done. I am sick and tired of being told when I can work and when I can't. And like, I earned this vacation. It's part of the job. I have PTO. Forget it. And so I was like, I'm going to clean. I don't know. I told Amanda, I was like, I'm going to start cleaning. I can't work here anymore. And she was like, okay, let's do it. And I was like, thank God you said okay, because I may have already typed up my 2-week notice and I have to just hit send. Like, I was just waiting. And so I sent that in, finished my 2 weeks. We bought a house during the same time, our first house. Yeah, it was like big. And then COVID like really ramped up and shutdown started happening. And I was like, oh shit, I just quit my job when shutdowns are happening. Like, what did I do? And at that point, it was very much like, you have no fucking choice. You're going to make it. And I've always kind of had that, I call it like a hustle mentality. make it work, figure it out. I'm very good at analyzing and making adjustments. Like, okay, this didn't work out. What can work? What else can we try? I'm actually an experimenter is my human design. So it makes sense that I'm very much like, this did not work out. Let's try something else. We'll figure it out. So yeah. And now here I am 6 years later, whole ass cleaning business owner.
That's amazing. And I'm so sorry as some of these challenges have come your way, and also noting it's interesting how you had multiple different places of employment who were just like trying to control you so much in really like fucked up ways, and just showing almost like the clear path for you is entrepreneurship. Like time after time, we have multiple iterations of, no, not like that. You're going to do what I say. You're going to, no, you don't get to have the vacation that you were entitled to with the PTO because we are, our shit's not together. Like just so many things where it's just like, oh, here's your path. So, I mean, oftentimes I know for myself, like, and maybe this is just trying to find meaning in meaninglessness, I'm not sure, but I certainly, whenever I look back at like the path that I walked and all of this, the ridiculousness that happened, it's like, well, that all had to happen. Like Amanda had to go through these crazy challenges in order to be painful enough to cause you to do this, because, you started cleaning on the side. Nothing was painful enough for you to take that leap until this vacation thing happened. Right. And then it's like, boom, like this is the push that you needed, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm a huge, huge believer. So when my spiritual journey started, when I started reading those Jen Sincero books, that's when I say that was like the start of my spiritual journey. I started digging into more inner healing and just looking back at my life and all of the things that had to happen to land me where I am. And I'm like, no, literally nobody on the face of the earth can tell me that I wasn't fucking born to do this. Like, I'm so dead set. This is what I'm here for. And the way that I can pull energy into it, which I know is a little bit woo-woo for some people, skip past it if you don't want to hear it. But like the way that I can pull that into cleaning business ownership is incredible. And like, I know I'm here for that. I also think I had to experience those things, not only to be an entrepreneur, but to be a good leader, a good boss. Family first is something that you and I have in common with our companies. And like, I'm very, very micro compared to you. There's like 4 of us right now, and that's including my back end team and 1 cleaning tech. I still clean throughout the week.
I am cleaning it too. I'm driving up to Wisconsin to clean my ass off, so don't worry.
Oh, good. I'm so glad that that's still real.
Yeah. Your previous experience have shaped how you then now run your company. And that's how, for me too, like I had these shitty experiences at former employers, and I'm like, oh wait, I get to completely control the culture and how people are treated here. We're going to do the opposite of that.
Yes, exactly. Like I am never going to have somebody go sit on their couch and cry for weeks and weeks because they feel worthless because they didn't put makeup on their face. Fuck that. Mm-hmm. It is 2025. We are not doing this shit.
Yeah. And I really, and we have so much in common. Like it's almost eerie because when you say like I truly feel the same way, that like, this is what I was put on this earth to do. Like I was born for this. Right. And so when you have that kind of mentality about like, we've found our calling of like, this is what we were led to do. And the beautiful thing is, I love that you said like, you can basically, input meaning or input the energy behind that into everything that you do. And this is kind of how I see our roles as leaders in our company is like, okay, you have all these people that are showing up to clean houses, right? That sounds fairly meaningless, but it's our jobs as leaders to be like, no, actually, we're changing lives. And this is so important. And every single day that you show up matters. It matters so much, in fact, that we're going to do all of these things to show you how much we appreciate you. And like, so I really think that that's our role, is to be kind of like, the cult leader or visionary in the best of ways. Like we need to get our people to drink the Kool-Aid, right? And again, like proverbially, not literally, don't kill anybody, but like they need to be rowing in the same boat, as I say, and rowing in the same direction in that boat. So like you have to be a really, really good captain in order to be able to inspire what a lot of people would say is drudgery work, is monotonous, is not important. So how do we make them feel that is important? And there's a variety of ways that we can do it. But first and foremost, we need to feel like this is our calling and this is our meaning. And clearly that's how you feel.
Yes, exactly. And so my spiritual side of things and pulling in energy into it, like I'm very big into my human design and astrology and astro planning. And so like I plan my business around astrology, and people are like, you do what? And I'm like, no, listen, when Mercury's in retrograde, I will not sign a new contract. I don't give a shit. Like I will not do it. I fine tooth comb everything during certain times because it's just how my brain works and my soul feels so aligned with that. And so backstory, I used to not be like this. And actually so 2020 is when I started the business. 2021, end of 2020, I had a helper, and 2021, I got like 5 helpers. And I ran with a team of 4 to 5. And we all went to every single house together because I was scared shitless to let anybody else have my baby's name. Like, this is my baby. I've raised it from literally just hours on my days off, So I was scared to let anybody come in and do anything that could ruin it. I ended up running myself into the ground. I lost my ass in money. I was burned so many times by so many people. And so it kind of feels like this is actually why I reached out to you however long ago it was and started following you. It feels like I'm at a point right now where it's almost like a clean slate to start growing and scaling, but not do it the way I did it in 2021 when I was like, fast, warm body, let's go, clean this bathroom. Like I had to go through all of these entrepreneur struggles in the first 5 years to really grasp what the fuck I'm doing. And now I'm like, okay, I'm here. I've learned the hard lessons. I know I'm going to come across other ones, but I feel so mentally prepared. I have goosebumps. Wow. So mentally prepared to be able to handle them calmly without, oh my God, the whole world is burning down around me reaction. And now I'm like, let's go. Let's fucking go. I feel like it's scale time because I just have a better mindset now. My mindset game is so much stronger. My work-life balance is on point. Some days I'm working 15 hours, but like then I'll take another day off where I just focus on my home life and myself, So I don't know. It just feels like it's time. And I'm like, let's go.
I'm so happy that you said all that. It's very interesting because, I've talked to a lot of our listeners privately, whether that be email or whatever, and obviously you have talked to. But just this week, I can't tell you like how many conversations I've had related to like what you just described of kind of rapid learning. And, you've done this over 5 years and learning from our mistakes. And you have like, regardless of like what everybody's path is, we have to go through some like painful learning because that's what I was saying at the beginning of like, you can't just study this. You have to be in it because that's the only way. That's the only path is through it, not over it, under it, whatever. You have to go through it. And depending how fast you learn will determine, what's next. And, so like how fast can we learn from the lessons being thrown at us and staying encouraged and not quitting while you're in the shithole, basically the trenches, as I like to think of it. And also I like that you're like, I'm ready. I'm of the mindset now to have the growth and things like that. Because if we were to, God, I just had a consulting call yesterday where it was that kind of thing. She's actually like pretty much right, like where you are, similar size. And she's like, I can't get past this, and I'm like, well, you shouldn't want to, because if we were to add 10 cleaners to you right now, everything would break because the systems aren't correct. Right. So we need to have this like stronghold of really like foundational systems so that when we do scale, nothing breaks. Right. Or little things break, not the whole damn thing. Right. So It sounds like you're really focusing on so many things and improving a lot of systems. And obviously, like we've gone back and forth on a bunch of things. I would love to talk about a couple of the improvements that you've made just from our discussions in the past couple months. Like, is there anything that stands out for you?
Definitely. So to start this year, so last fall, actually, I started following the cleaning business mentor, Carolyn Arlano. Arlano. Yeah. Okay. So all winter, I like binged everything. I was like, I feel so like in tune with this person. There's golden nuggets here everywhere. And I just picked and grabbed. And that's how I learned about ZenMaid. Praise be. Holy cow. If you guys are listening and you are not using ZenMaid, please just go use it. Go do the trial. Like, you literally have nothing to lose. And I'm telling you, so January, our revenue was like, let's see, around $4,000. Mm-hmm. February is when I started my trial and started like slowly integrating, which, by the way, integration process is much faster through ZenMaid than anything else I've ever used. March is when we like fully started using ZenMaid, and our income was $9,872.
Oh, doubled.
And in April we hit 10,000. That was my first $10,000 month, and I was like, no effing way! Like, holy crap, this is incredible! Like, the time that it takes some focus to be able to like go through all the settings and make sure that it sounds like you. It's so important. Go through those settings and make sure your automations sound like you and your company. But once you take the time to do that, like, I haven't sent a reminder since then because it's automated. It's beautiful.
Yeah, so I know what you mean. Is there any, like, for me, I use it from day one, so I wasn't doing anything manually to begin with. So I don't even know how bad, I mean, I can hypothesize how bad it would be. I guess what stood out for you? Was it the appointment reminders? Was it, what exactly do you utilize it for?
Yeah, so, I mean, we use it to its max, and I use ChatGPT, and I'm like, can you please analyze any new ZenMaid updates and show me how I can...
Oh, Amanda!
I don't play. Like, if I'm going to use something, I want to use it to its maximum benefits for my business and my life in general. So we use it for scheduling, and for the appointment reminders is the biggest thing that saved me time. And it tells me how much time it saves me, like, sending that stuff. I'm like... Yes, it did. Like, heck yeah, it just saved me 3 hours. Yes. So before this, I was literally, so we used Square before this. And before that, I used pen and paper and was like, okay, on Sunday, you need to text these 7 people and remind them that they have appointments at this time. You know what I mean? Like, hella burnout, not reasonable. And I'm such a systems person that I was like, I can't function like this anymore. Like, there has to be a better fucking way. Mm-hmm. Insert Square, then insert ZenMaid, which totally stomped Square. I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. And
I didn't know Square offered scheduling. Like, I mean, it's a payment processor, so I didn't realize that it would do any of that stuff.
Yeah, so they have an appointments. I didn't like that. So inside ZenMaid, you access everything in one hub. In Square, I have to have like 5 different apps. Square Team for my staff, Square Payroll, Square Appointments, and then Square for processing. And I was just like, invoicing. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm in the day cleaning like 30 houses a week. Like, I don't have time for this. So I love that about ZenMaid. Everything's all in one place. It's incredible how calm I feel about running the back end of my business now for the first time in, this is year 6. And I'm like, I don't feel like I have to put a lot of energy into it. And that's great, because now I feel like I have energy to grow and scale, which is where we are now.
Yeah, taking away I don't want to say nonsense, but like nonsense manual labor, meaning like sending out like manual texts or manual emails or whatever. It's like, there's no reason anybody should be doing that. Like, 0 reason at all.
Like, it's uncalled for. And sure, it's easy to keep track of if you are, I'm a tracker, like I have spreadsheets galore, very type A, so it's easier for me to track that stuff. But the fact that it took me 45 minutes to sit down every week, when that 45 minutes could have been reading my favorite book in my library or on the patio, you know, there's just different things in life that could have fueled me that wasn't spending 45 minutes reminding people that they have a freaking cleaning coming up. So the newest thing that I started this summer utilizing ZenMaid was the estimate emails. Mm-hmm. And I was just sending out manual emails to people after they filled out our booking form. You recommended What Should We Do by Joe. Mm-hmm. And that book like flipped how I do everything this summer. I can't believe. And it's so crazy because there weren't even any like huge changes. So like whenever I would give people quotes, I gave them the top tier. Like, This is what we can do for you. We're going to get this. We're going to get this. We're going to get this, because people in my area are so used to basic wipe downs. We'll just say it like that. So like to set myself apart, I'm like, we're going to tackle that. We got this. We're going to handle this. Like we've got you covered top to bottom, left to right. We got it. So I've always offered that. And then if people come back and they're like, well, that's out of our price range, or we're not really concerned about our baseboards, then I would kind of lower some things. But often I just didn't mess with it.
So just a give backstory, Amanda was kind of like explaining her situations with like people not necessarily closing. Was that, I can't remember what triggered me to even say this. We were voice messaging back and forth, and I'm like, wait a minute, I read a book that might be something you should try out. And it's not even something I've implemented in my business, because my boat takes a lot longer to switch, because I brought it up to my managers and like, we're not making changes like that right now. But for you, this is a very nimble time to make changes to like your pricing structures. Or again, I love that you called yourself an experimenter. I literally said that yesterday to Viv. Shout out Viv, like if you're listening, because I know you are. And we talked about like, see yourself as a scientist, and we're just pulling different variables to see what works, right? And it kind of removes the emotion out of like it feeling like a failure. It's like, oh, that hypothesis didn't work. Let's try something else. And so when you were explaining this, I was like, read this book, see what you think. And so that's where What Should We Do by Joe, blah, 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 blah. Joe, I'm sorry, whatever your last name is. I want you on the podcast. Cristaro, I think it is. Yes. Josie. Great book. So you read it, you immediately start implementing the ideas suggested.
Yes, I didn't even finish the book before I started implementing things. It was like, I don't know, maybe within the first few chapters, there was like a gold nugget, and I was like, no effing way. Holy shit, I have to try this. So I paused the book, I finished my cleaning, I go home, and I'm at my computer for 2 hours, and I'm like, how can I do this? I pull up ChatGPT, and I'm like, hey, pull in Joe's theories and like practices from this book. Show me how I can implement that today. I want to do it right now. And luckily, I guess, by the grace of whatever higher power you believe in, I got a quote request while I was sitting there, and I was like, perfect. Perfect. Let's go. So my estimate emails basically went from like, here's your option, here's how much it is, here's how we proceed, to this tiered email that starts out like our premium top tier. And it's like, here's the price. Here's all the tasks we're going to tackle for you. Second tier. Okay, we don't have to go that deep. Let's do this, like a middle ground. Okay, we don't need to like scrub that, but maybe we can remove the dust from it at least. Bottom tier, basic wipe down stuff. I have always gone top tier. I never included like the middle or the lower options for people, but giving them that option. And then at the end, I used ChatGPT and I said, give me a what should we do footer for my estimate email. Spit something out. I tweaked it to fit my tone, because I'm pretty big on making sure it matches like who I am as a person. Like
very easy to read, like spit out AI. So highly recommend everybody tweak.
Yes, definitely. Like I tweak it, and I'm going back and forth, getting it perfect, and I add it in and send out the email, and they reply the same night and book the top tier. And I'm like, no effing way. Are you kidding me right now? And so I just keep doing this. And we don't get a ton of requests, which is something that I'm like trying to focus on right now. Like, how do we get more requests? Because our closing rate's awesome now. First, I was like, I don't want more requests because we're not closing them, and it's stressful and it's sad and I'm irritated. So now I'm doing emails this way where they get a tier of different things, and every single one that I have sent has gone for the top tier. June and July, every single one. And I'm like, it's the same damn information I would have sent you before, but something in their brain about seeing a lower option and a lower option, they can see the value that you're providing in that top tier. And they're like, hell yeah, I want that. I'm worthy of having my baseboards cleaned. I deserve to have clean baseboards. I deserve to have the outside of my cabinets clean. Something in that tiered option triggers that in them, and they freaking book it. And I'm like, this is fucking amazing. Like, I can't even.
It's the magic of human psychology is what it's really missing. And I love that. Like, I think that's what it is. I think you forwarded me on an estimate, and I saw that, and I'm like, they're not understanding the value because we're not explaining it. And I think right here is like, mic drop, everybody listen right now. It's not that people don't want to pay high prices or what you are worth or XYZ, however you want to phrase it. You're not selling correctly. You're not selling the value. And so that's not on them. Very likely they could go for your top tier pricing, but it's all in how it's packaged. And we're just switching the packaging on this present, right? And it worked.
It did. It absolutely did. And that's what Joe really hones in on the book is like, if you're not a good salesperson, you're not going to hit the goals that you have. And I think something that's really hit me this summer is a lot of people want to be a business owner. And specifically speaking to our industry, you know, it really blew up as like a low cost startup.
Yeah.
You know? But here's the thing. If you're really good at cleaning, you might not be very good at sales. You might not be very good at the HR task, like running payroll, scheduling. And if you happen to be really good at all of those things, you should absolutely step out of cleaning and do all of those things and have other people help you clean, because not everybody can do those tasks, but you can train people to clean. So that's been like a big just like light bulb on me this summer. And I'm like, right. I've been through this since 2020. I've learned so much. I've changed so much. I've adjusted so many things. I finally feel very, very confident around our pricing guides. And now the estimate emails are flowing flawlessly and people are booking the top tier every single time for 2 months straight.
Prices need to go up. If everybody's
listen, so prices were up, and I think I was actually pricing too high for a little while, but I have a little idea to kind of tweak the pricing a little bit and maybe go back towards that higher end, but put it in this format.
Exactly, because it's like, was your price too high, or was it the format? And this again, It's that whole experimentation mindset of like, okay, you changed a variable that greatly changed your close rate at this lower price. What happens if we go up a little? Where's the breaking point, right? And honestly, like if you're telling me everybody's closing, can we get down to like 60%? Because then you need fewer cleaners to make the same exact amount of money, and that's the ideal. Right? We want to make as much money as possible with as few appointments as possible.
Yeah. And so if you've seen the schedule and the numbers right now, you'd probably, I don't know what your reaction would be actually, but like it feels very, when I first started, my very first client, I literally did a walkthrough at her house, not knowing shit what I was doing. I don't know how to do a walkthrough, but I'm going to show up and talk to you and pretend like I do. I let her tell me how much she wanted to pay for her cleaning. She was like, well, how much are you going to charge? And I was like, well, how much do you want to pay for this work? And she said, $20 an hour for about 3 to 4 hours. And I said, I'll be here Tuesday. Like,
yep.
What? Mm-hmm. That is not how we run shit.
No, but most of us, it's nothing to be ashamed about, because it's like, how could you possibly know, especially coming from an employee mindset? Like we all, for the most part, came from being an employee somewhere. And so it's really hard to conceptualize. And I remember, I've told that so many times of like, I started out at 30 an hour and just like heart pounding. Nobody's going to take it. What is wrong with you? Like, we're in a rural area. That's crazy for cleaning. Like, why would anybody pay that? All of this noise in my head saying, you are not worth that. How dare you, basically. And so now learning and doing and painstakingly doing price increases for years and years and years, where it's just like, gosh, like you could have made such an impact if you just were at 40 an hour when you opened, but you live and you learn. And honestly, like there's a lot less pressure at those lower prices, like, because you can fail and it's not so high stakes. I mean, it's still a lot of money for somebody to pay. I'm not trying to take that away or anything like that. But now that we're at, whatever, 50, 55 an hour, like, we got to be fucking perfect, because people are like, when you pay more, you expect more, right? And so if we're going to be all demanding what we're worth, whatever that means, the phrase that we all use, but can't necessarily explain that. We are all trying to charge what the market will bear. That's how I see it. And so whatever the market will bear, it's hard to know if our sales are shitty or our sales skills are shitty rather, because it's like, okay, is it because nobody will pay these prices, or because they don't understand the value, or they are comparing us to individual cleaners and they're like, it's apples to apples. And we're like, no, that's a tangerine. We are a Honeycrisp apple, right? And both are delicious and have wonderful things, but we're different, right? And there's a reason you should go for the Honeycrisp, right?
100%, yes. And I have such a mindset of like, I'm not in competition with any of the local cleaners in the Joplin area. I hope you all thrive. There are so many humans in our area. There's plenty of work, and that doesn't even take into commercial accounts into play. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many houses that need cleaned. There's so many buildings that need cleaned. If there's a building, it needs cleaned. There's plenty of work for all of us. And I feel like that sets me apart, because I don't get honed in or sucked into what they're doing. I lost a client 3 months ago because I couldn't tell them what my competition does and why I'm different. And I was like, my competition is actually me from May of 2024. Like, right now in July, I want to do better than I did July of 2024. I don't know what they're doing. I'm not focused on that. I'm watering my own yard, if you use that saying. Like, I just don't focus on that. And so it's very interesting, I guess, to see how people can get sucked into like comparing themselves, and I think that's one of my biggest pieces of advice, is just stay in your lane and focus on you and yours. Don't stress about what they're doing.
Well, and I'll say, just from personal experience of like, I'm aware of our competition. I'm cognizant of it, more so as fuel of like, I have to keep improving Serene Clean, so that you can never get complacent. And so you can definitely notice them, like, yep, they're there. But what else can you do other than control your own business? Are you going to mail them poop on fire? No. So then don't worry about them. We're not going to do that. So we're not going to egg their house. So if we're not going to do that, then what can we do, which is pour into our business and focus on like, how can we be the best Serene Clean ever? Because if we're the best Serene Clean ever, then competition doesn't matter. And like you said, there's enough business to go around. And I know a lot of you guys are terrified of your cleaners leaving and taking clients. It's happened to me. It's happened, like, it will happen to all of us at some point. But let's just keep this in perspective. Most likely, I mean, and some of you have came from this, like, you are who I'm talking about right now. You've done that. And so none of this is said with judgment. This is just a fact of the matter. That is a lot of times how cleaning businesses start, or individual cleaners start. They come from another cleaning business, and they sometimes take clients with them. And at the end of the day, most likely that person will not be hiring. And if they try to hire, it's not going to work out. So say they're full-time, they are hungry, they want to get as many clients as they physically can handle. What are we talking? 20 clients? Like, you don't think that there's enough business to go around to lose 20 houses? If you're that scared of that, then you've got a sales and marketing problem, or you, like, again, what can you do about it but control your own actions? So all of this comes back to like you said, stay in your lane, focus on what we can control in our little locus of control right here. So love that. And so, you've gone through different, turmoil within the business. I know you lost pretty much everybody, right? And kind of had to start over from the sounds of it, right?
Yeah. And it was kind of a trickle effect. And I didn't just have 5. I probably had like 12 people over a 2-year span helping me, but we ran with a team of 5. And they ended up leaving for whatever reason. Usually not.
Like they did a walkout, or what happened?
Well, so yeah, most of them were like, no call, no show, text me and be like, yeah, actually, I'm not coming to work. I'm done. I quit. Like, none of it was like a respectable way, is what I'll say. And I even had a family member, bro. I can't. I had a family member just text me on like a Friday night and was like, today was actually my last day. I've accepted another position. They had been interviewing and like never even had the nerves to be like, hey, this isn't working out for me. And I was like, man, you're a peach. That's awesome. So happy for you. Like, let me go put out this dumpster fire.
Yeah. Friends, family, like, guys, don't do it. You're good. Like, unless you are willing to throw that family member or friend away, I would suggest do not introduce money. I have had multiple friendships ruined. I've had family members or kind of family members. Now it's a very strained relationship because as soon as we interject money into a relationship, there is a power dynamic and there's a shift, right? And all of a sudden they'll see you very differently. And sometimes it feels very unfair because they simply don't understand. And that's been some of my biggest personal growth has been like being able to be perceived negatively by people who simply do not understand. And that's such a hard pill for me to swallow. Like being misunderstood is one of my biggest insecurities or biggest, like, I just want people to understand that I'm coming from a good place or to not, not see me as not how I see myself or whatever. And so it's really hard when people are like, and again, they're your friends or they're your family and they're like, oh, like Stephanie, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you don't know shit, bitch. And that's where my mindset comes in. And I'm just like, so I've had to grow a lot of like, you don't have to prove yourself to people who are so dead set on misunderstanding your intentions. We don't have to prove ourselves to them. And it's so hard not to do that.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that mindset, like that part of my growth happened probably after I lost all of those people. So I lost my last one, let's see, like 20, my ears are all jacked up. I don't know. Anyways, a couple of years in business, I lost them all. The last one was actually training to be a manager. She had no plans of leaving the area for at least 15 years. So we felt very confident. And she texted me on a Sunday and was like, hey, I'm not going to make it to work tomorrow. I actually just packed my car up and moved out of the state. I'm done. Like, oh shit. Like, first, are you okay? Are you safe? Second, what the hell? Like, and they were all just like wild. None of them felt like it was leading up to it.
Yep. Totally out of the
I'm just like, okay, another dumpster fire. Fucking awesome. Like, I got this. And so I just have a moment. I got that text when I was sitting at dinner with my family member who quit the month before that. And the rest of the family. And I text my wife. My wife is sitting across from me. I text her and I say, I need to go to the bathroom and cry for a minute. I am fine. Please don't ask questions. I don't want to talk about it in front of family. I'm going to handle it. We'll talk about it tonight after dinner. And that's actually back to the beginning of the episode when you asked if she cleaned. That's when she jumped in and started cleaning with me because I had a full schedule for a team of 3 humans and it was me by myself. And I was like, I can move fast and I can maintain quality because it's my business. So like, I'm not going to cut corners. I know how to do this efficiently, but I need another human to at least vacuum the floors. Like anybody who can push a vacuum, please come help me. So she jumped right in and started cleaning. Our daughter, she jumped in and started cleaning windows. It was a whole family ordeal for a hot minute. And then I did some adjusting on pricing, slight price increase to match some more professional things that I did, like making sure we were covered on insurance policies and licensing and things like that to make us feel a little bit more legit in my eyes. That I didn't have previously. Don't do that, guys. So I did some pricing adjusting to just fit to make sure we're still bringing profit in. And I lost some clients there, which is expected. Every time you do a price increase, expect somebody to not be aligned with that. It's fine. So once I lost some people that were no longer aligned with the business, I was like, okay, I think I can do this by myself. So I ran solo again for 1.5 years. And I was like, this is fine. Like, we're doing okay. This is enough money to coast. And then something clicked in me last, May of 24. It kind of clicked in me and I was like, I'm not doing this until I die. Like, this wasn't the end goal what is my end goal? And I was like, F this. I want a team. I want to be able to provide a job to people where they feel safe, where they feel valued, where they feel worthy of their work, where they know that they have the flexibility to care for their family. We homeschool our daughters, so that also plays a really big role in like flexibility. I want to be able to provide a place for people to make income and still have a life instead of their life revolving around their job. Like, that's not what it's about. And so I was like, okay, well, how the hell do I get to that? I'm solo cleaning like all these houses every single week. I'm dead ass tired. And I was like, I need to hire. That's all there is to it. So yeah, we've tripled income since 2024 with one hire.
It's amazing.
And I know. And now I'm like, okay, she's been with me 13 months and a week. And she has never called out, which is unheard of. Please, nobody compare that to your employees, because that is literally unheard of.
Yeah, you got your diamond, you got your crystal. Like, that's my, that was my, you know, my longest employee. She's about to hit her 6 years next week. And it's exactly the same. Like, it's like,
yes,
sometimes you just get blessed and you don't question it.
yes, exactly. And I just feel like I had to go through all of this, like dumpster fire after dumpster fire after dumpster fire, 80 hours a week, like chaos to be able to get here. She just happened to be at the perfect place, perfect time last summer and came to work for me. And now, so she's training to be manager to take over so that I can step fully into CEO and focus on data analysis, strategy, and really tap into those things that I know I'm good at. I just don't have the mental energy right now to focus on it as much.
Fantastic hire. You're transitioning into this kind of like operator CEO mindset with just like this focus on like, you want to grow, like sky's the limit kind of thing. And I think that you have gone through so many learning lessons that like once you get, you know, so many things in place that like it's gonna explode, and you're in like the perfect place for that to happen. You know, in just like, I can just tell like your mind's right, you know. And you've also gone through like, yeah, because you're not new. You don't have unrealistic expectations as to the ease of this. Like, it's a bitch. Like what you just described, meaning like people quitting last minute, like that happens every week for Serene Clean. I mean, Sunday, somebody did that. Somebody else is calling out every day. Like I said, I'm about to drive up to Wisconsin in 2 weeks because my Hannah, my on-call person who does all my training, she's going to be on vacation. So we're like, all my managers are cleaning right now. Like, it's an absolute shit show. And we've never had this happen when we've been at this size. And I mean, just tanking revenue, like all of these things. And it's like, it's exactly like that, like pity party of like, okay, me being pissy is not going to solve anything. What can I do? And sometimes that means, you know, getting your hands dirty, literally, like, you know, and going and doing the work. And honestly, I'm actually really excited about it. Like, I'm very excited to like, I haven't cleaned in forever. And I think it's going to be great to like, not only for your team to see that you're willing to do that, but also of like, remind you how fucking hard this is physically so that you don't ever get too far away from what you are earning money off of people's labor. And I think once like, and for all of our, you know, remote owners or people who aspire to that or who are just using ICs or whatever, I'm not saying anything negative about you at all. I'm just saying there's a lot of benefit to be had to go in and getting your fucking hands dirty and cleaning the shitter, right? There's a lot of benefits to be reminded of like, what is this work that we are asking people to do? Because it makes you realize like, oh, they're working their asses off so I can live in Savannah, Georgia and frolic about, right? So I need to like be appreciative. I need to pay them well. I need to give them all the benefits. I need to like all of these things. It's so visceral when I am physically doing the cleaning, right?
100%. And I love that. I love that energy about you. And I think that's why I feel so aligned, because I'm like, you are where I aspire to be. I don't want to live in Missouri for the rest of my life. If anybody listening knows me, I hate the fucking heat. I hate the sunlight.
Oh, yeah, on the Pacific Northwest, right? That's where you guys want to be.
Mm-hmm. Yes, like I'm trying to move to Oregon, Washington. Like that's where I want to live. And will I start a Stovall's cleaning services there? Who fucking knows?
Yep, who knows?
Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But I do know that I have to be able to remember that I will be willing to hop on a plane or drive back to Missouri and help Micaiah and the team whenever that happens, because she is training to be manager and she'll have a team underneath her once we start hiring. So I have all of our client onboarding guidelines finished this week. Next is orientation and like hiring. I'm going to take your advice and do group interviews, and then I'm super excited about that.
I'm so excited. Yeah. So that's what the focus is on. Is there anything that, I mean, while we're here, anything that you're like, ooh, well, I got you, Stephanie. What about this? What about this? What about this? Anything come to mind?
You know, I think so. The struggle right now is I've been so good at, okay, this is an issue. We need to find a problem. And right now I just feel like I'm being drugged 7 different directions. Like, we're in an area where me and my one cleaner can handle the schedule. And we're also in a space where she can handle probably about 80% of the schedule solo. And so right now, like starting in July, so we're 11 days in, I've scheduled her majorly solo cleans, and I'm only going with her if they're a deep clean or a new client cleaning. So that I can spend more time in the office trying to nail down the client onboarding and signing up for sign request and just getting everything systemized, because I feel like I've got to have all of that foundational stuff set before I start asking the universe, please send me 50 clients next month, because like right now our numbers, you'll probably die. We're at 11 recurring clients, 11. Mm-hmm. And we're averaging 8 to 9 one-time cleanings a month. So 20 clients. And our recurring clients are like, I think we have 2 weeklies, a lot of bi-weeklies, and 2 monthlies.
So, and remind me again what your average MRR is, monthly recurring revenue, or just monthly revenue in general?
Like, we're hitting around 7,000 average right now.
Okay.
We hit 10,000 and we started the year at, what was it? Like 3,000 something, between $3,500 and $4,000. So we have decent revenue for the amount of appointments that we're running.
No, that's what I'm saying is your pricing per appointment is stellar. That's fantastic. And honestly, once you get, like, you need 2 hires and you're just going to be like it's going to be crazy. Because right now, it's tough when you're doing initial cleans. It's always going to take 2 people. Deep cleans, it's always going to take 2 people, because obviously you're running solo model, because that's the option here. And I still run solo cleaner model, except on those big cleans. But I think once you get your hiring systems in place and things are about to explode, because getting to even 4 or 5 part-timers, all of a sudden we're talking significant amount of revenue compared to where you are. And so you're building a really strong foundation. It's going to take off, especially you're getting your closing really good and your sales really good. So now it's okay, like you said, increasing the amount of leads, which there's a lot of levers you can pull for that. That's not really a problem. So yeah, I'm excited. Things are we're on the precipice. I want to talk, we're going to do another recording in 3 to 6 months, and shit's about to go down, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, I literally feel like I've been on this uphill climb since 2023-ish, and I'm right at the tip, and it's just going to take one push to be let's go on this roller coaster.
So I don't know if you've ever heard the analogy, sorry to interrupt, but what you're making me think of is when I was in middle school, we did this little experiment, I guess, in science class, and I don't remember what the lesson was at all, but this is what I take from it. So you take a penny and you drop droplets of water on the penny, and you keep dropping, and nothing happens until finally there's this bubble on the penny, and you finally do that one less drop, and it just explodes over the penny and the water just comes out. But the point being is it didn't look like anything was happening until that final drop. And it's just and I've heard the same kind of thing said about the freezing point of you don't see the water freezing until you hit that, but it took every single step until that. So all of these metaphors are trying to say you have been building this thing. It's hard because you're not seeing the result necessarily that you are envisioning, but you have to do all of these things first, and then you'll see it's not instant gratification. And so motivational Stephanie here. It's like, you need to do all of these steps and you will not see a result. But then all of a sudden it's like that, like you said, a roller coaster, like you're, blah, 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 and then it's like, woo.
Yes, exactly. And so like, I mean, I feel like right now, if I were to hire somebody, I mean, I don't have the hiring, onboarding, orientation stuff ready, but it feels like I don't have enough leads coming in to be able to do that. My closing rate's great, but we're getting, I think this week we had 2 leads this week.
Mm-hmm.
Last week we had 1. And today's a follow-up for our second lead for this week, because I have them scheduled like after a certain amount of days to follow up with them. So we just like, I don't want to put this out into the universe, but we don't have enough leads to hire, but I also don't have, if I get a ton of leads and close them, I'm not going to have enough to.
Yeah. So this is, I mean, for me, it's clear cut. You need to hire a part-timer that is very good with flexible hours. So maybe 15 to 30 hours a week. They don't care, or whatever that thing is. You need a very part-timer that gets you off of the initials as well. You can load them up in case that influx happens. I would say you need to start hiring. Like, don't worry about the leads. Do not worry about the leads, because think about it. Training's going to take a while. They most likely aren't going to work out. Like, I'll put that out for you. They're not going to work out. Whoever you fall in love with, not going to happen. So, hire somebody. And again, they don't get hours until they've made it through training. And then you get a fire under your ass to get new clients. So it's good to have that. You don't even know if they're going to show up yet. So don't worry about filling their schedule. Worry about getting a quality person more so is what I would be doing if I were you, especially because your one hire, like, she's already full pretty much, right? So that, like, if you're like, that's the trigger. If your cleaners are full, or say like 80% full, you need to start hiring now, because it's not like, you put it out tomorrow and you get somebody. Very unlikely that that's going to happen. So this may take a while for you to find the perfect person. So because you're not feeling this like, holy shit, I got so many leads, and panic hiring, this is actually the perfect place to take your time and figure it out. So that's what I would be doing.
Look at that. There it is. Yeah, for sure. And so actually we run teams of 2. That's the model that I really like. I just have her doing solo so that I can step out and get some onboarding foundational shit done. So I could even bring somebody on part-time to match her hours and just be with her. And then I don't need any new leads. It's the same schedule working. It just pulls me out of the field so that I can get this shit going for sure.
Exactly. And then if one of them has to call out or whatever, you're not getting pulled in. There's your buffer. So yeah, you need to hire, girl.
Woo!
Hey, awesome. Well, I mean, like I said, we are absolutely going to be talking again. I know a lot of this was just us chatting, but it's my podcast. I'll do what I want. Zen Made, my podcast. If I want to talk about nonsense for an hour, I will. But this was awesome, Amanda. I'm so happy we connected. I'm so happy you reached out to me, because like, we're very kindred spirits. You're doing this for the right reasons. And obviously people get rich off the wrong reasons, but I really like talking to people who are wanting to do this for the right reasons, and who care very deeply, not only about their clients, but about their employees, and just like that they want to make an impact. And the only way we can make the biggest impact is having a team and increasing our reach, if you will. So where can people find you, Amanda, so they can follow along on your journey?
Yeah, so you can follow my personal Facebook. It's Amanda Lynn Stovall. Then you can follow the business at Stovall's Cleaning Services, both on Facebook. We have Instagram and TikTok, not as huge a following there. You can check out our website. It's under construction right now. I've taken some of Stephanie's advice, and we are.
Oh yeah, you that's the way.
Yeah, we're doing a big overhaul there on the website and getting some info there. But it's stovallscleaning.com. Yeah, follow along. Come chat with me.
Awesome. Everybody, leave Amanda a great big thank you for this awesome episode in the comments. Hit that like, hit that subscribe if you are not subscribed, so you can follow along on all of our guest journeys. And we'll see you on the next episode of Filthy Rich Cleaners. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you, Amanda, for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
You betcha.